the GAA was founded in Hayes' Hotel in Thurles, and that really was the kernel of it all, you know. And then you had some great. The hurling was so strong then. Now you hear a giant of a man. That stadium is called after him above, the famous Tom Simple. Now, Thurles Sarsfields, they used to be the old blue, Thurles Blues. That was they were originally called, and then they changed the name to Thurles Sarsfields. You see, so Tom Simple was a leading figure, giant of a man.
You knew him?
Oh, personally, sure, I used to be, there was two of his sons playing with me on the old Sarsfields team, Johnny and Tommy. Tommy Simple, called after Tom himself, and Johnny was playing. We never made the county, but we're good clubmen. It was all first time pulling. I remember there was bouts of play, 10 minutes to run, and the ball never touched the ground. It was all ground hurling that time, except you caught it in flight or it hopped in front of you. But there was none of this thing. But anyway, I'll tell you, you'll be counting your fingers. If you put down your hand for a ball, you'll be counting your fingers. You know what I mean? So anyway, oh yes, it was a pure thriller. Now, and a draw was the most deserving. I played full back one day in Limerick, and he was full forward. Oh, he was a dangerous forward, but we had a small little goalie at that time in 45, small lemonade, Jimmy Marr of Borlahan, a small little lad now, and he used to wear a big cap, you know. And the next thing, that time, you see, the forwards would go back, and Mackie came back now, and I was full back, and Cornelli was injured, the usual full back. He was injured, and they didn't want to chance him. His knee, so to be in full back anyway. But so he ran back now before the ball was thrown in at all, and he looked in over my shoulder, you see, to Jimmy. Oh God, no, he says to me, he said, did you bring the little goalie at all today? You see, he only wanted to lift Jimmy, and Jimmy used to Jimmy used to run out and base him across stats for the hurley and all. You know, but that's what Mackie wanted, you see. You know, so the ball, maybe there'd be a goal got, and Mackie would run in and he'd tap Jimmy on the back and he'd say, Jesus, Jimmy, that was an easy one, you should have stopped that one. Up here, we played Borrisalee in the county final, the Kennys and all that, and he presented that cup the first day to the Prairie County Board. And he personally, I'm the only captain that he ever presented the cup. Well, normally he wouldn't be home, he'd be away, but he was in Thurles for this county final. And I'll show it to you there now, and he presented me with the cup, and Archbishop Kinane that time here, and I'll show you the photo. I had my arm around him here, you see, and the cup. So we have a great character there now. He's the Central Council representing Noel Morris from Borrisalee. You see, he represents Tip. And the first night he came in, he saw this photograph. Well, Mickey, he says, you're the first man, I would say, ever left a hand on Dan Breen and lived to tell it, he says. You know, but where we stayed for that 45 All-Ireland was Blackrock College. You see, they wanted to get the team. They didn't want the teams that time. Lahey was terribly shrewd. He wouldn't went to any hotel in the city, because they'd be all in, and they'd have the hotel, and then as you know, it would be too tempting for players to get a drink or something like that. So Lahey knew the president, I don't know what he was at the time, of Blackrock College. Then the students would be gone home, and the college would be idle. So that's where we stayed. We went up on a Saturday morning, and into Blackrock College, and stayed there, and then in for the match. And then after the match, then on the Sunday night, we'd always stay in Barry's Hotel. So it was a landmark there at that stage, you know. And but then things, you know, but then we'd be going down. Then we had special places. Then there was great pub. Now I know that you ever hear of the famous Tommy Moore. He played with Dublin. He had a pub now, which was a landmark in Dublin. Yeah. And with the cup would have to be brought down on the Sunday night there, and I needn't tell you the rest. You know, me met Cork in the semi-finals was. Yeah, I think the semi-final. So the first day a draw, as you know, I was telling you, and the second Sunday a draw, and they decided then they played the extra half hour. And you mentioned yourself there now about Jim Barry had the Cork team sitting out the scorching sun. It was unbelievable. The grass was actually burnt. That particular summer it was unreal. And so I had told you then about the famous Blake brothers that were masseurs, and they brought down this churn of spring water. And we were brought into the dressing room, stripped down, and got sponged with this, which was supposed to be a famous spring. So, I can see the hair story if you like. But anyway, we got sponged down. Then those Blakes, they had this own concoction, wintergreen, olive oil, you name it. Yeah. So, rubbed us up. We came out for the last half an hour and Cork didn't know what hit him. So it was stupid because if you're after sweating there and you sit down there for, you get stiff naturally, you know. We played a game against Cork, a National League game. We played down in Cork, and we had the little goalkeeper, as I told you, little Jimmy. And anyway, as me Hall O'Hare used to say, there was a schmozzle in our goal anyway, and little Jimmy was bundled into the back of the net, and they put the cap down, he had a big cap, and they put the cap down over his eyes, you see. So when, as me Hall used to say, when the dust settled, and he got up and he lifted up the cap, and here he saw Lynch running out of the 21, you see. And he followed him out of the 21. You cannot, Jack told this now himself several times before. He followed him out and he left the boss of the hurley under his wine pipe there. And by Jesus, Jack, he says, if you come in there, again, he says, and there'll be another by-election in Cork, he says. You see, when Jack Lynch got into the Dáil first was on a by-election, you see. So there'll be another by-election, he says. There was a great, it was 18 years, there was an 18-year spell. So there was a great character. I know, did you know, I must tell you, Dennis Conroy. And they made him a chair, he was nearly on crutches when they made him chairman of the Cork County Board, right? So now he had a son married here in the town to a pub there, Glasheen's pub, which you go up the Factory Road. And he used to come up every weekend and he'd stay there, you know, for the matches. So, they were there this Sunday night anyway, and the team was after coming back, of course, were beaten. So, Conroy was there and he was drinking away, and these crowd of lads came in real late about 11. They were cursing and swearing the way they were held up in the traffic coming down from Dáil Island, you know. He said it took us 6 hours, he says, nearly to get down. And Dennis was there with the pine. Well, sure, he says it wasn't too bad. He says, it took you 18 years to get there, he said. You know,